This is number 3 class. On November 1, 2016, goods were purchased for 50,000 FCU. FCU stands for foreign currency units. Payment will be made on February 28, 2017. Also, November 1, 2016, the entity entered into a forward contract in which the entity will receive the needed 50,000 FCU on February 28. How much will be reported in 2016 as forex gain or loss from the importation? Class, I will have to emphasize this. If you're only asked for gain or loss from importation or exportation, the rate that is relevant will only be the spot rate. Does not matter whether or not the problem gives you forward rates. If you're simply asked for gain or loss from importation or exportation, the only rates that you will consider should be the spot rates. The forward rates will only be relevant if there is a forward contract in the problem. Okay, and for number 3, the question is only for the gain or loss on the importation. And the question is in 2016. So first, you have to start with the November 1 transaction. What happened in November 1? You purchase goods. So we are the buyer in this transaction. Of course, the transaction is denominated in foreign currencies, but when it is recorded in your books, it will not be recorded as a foreign currency. It will have to be converted into your reporting currency, which in our case will be our peso class. So what is the entry when you record a purchase class? What's the entry for a purchase transaction? Debit, purchases and credit, accounts payable. That is not something new. You should know that already. But of course, the amount to be debited and credited should not again be in foreign currencies. So it has to be converted. So the question now is, at what amount will your purchases and your accounts payable be debited and credited respectively? It should be the equivalent of the 50,000. So you will have to convert the 50,000. The question now is, what rate are you going to use to convert the 50,000 into Philippine peso? Again, if it's only to record the importation or exportation transaction, the only rate relevant is your spot rate. But here in this problem, you're given with several spot rates. The spot rate on November 1, December 1, December 31, January 31, and February 28. Which one are you going to use? Obviously, it will be the spot rate on November 1 because that's the date of the transaction. This is the rate this is the current exchange rate on this date. And besides, you will still not know how much the spot rates are on December 1 onwards by November 1. The only spot rate that you will know will be the November 1 spot rate and the previous spot rates. So the relevant spot rate here would be your November 1 spot rate, which is 0.44. You multiply 0.44 by 50,000, we would get 22,000. That will be the amount that will be debited to your purchases and credited to your accounts payable. Okay. Since we are asked for 2016, you will have to determine whether there is a change in the balance of your accounts payable or accounts receivable. Class, the forex gain or loss from your importation or exportation will come from the fluctuation in the converted value of your accounts payable or your accounts receivable. What do I mean? Even though the settlement date is on February 28th, class, you will have to prepare another entry on December 31 in order for you to update the balance of your accounts payable. Your accounts payable should reflect the current exchange rate or the spot rate on the date of reporting or the reporting date. Because what do I mean? What is the nature of your obligation here? Is your obligation to pay 22,000 pesos or is your obligation to pay 50,000 foreign currency units? It's the latter class. You will have to pay 50,000 foreign currency units. So if your obligation remained at 50,000, then you should report obligation at 50,000 foreign currency units. But again, it will have to be converted. And again, convert it using the spot rate. For December 31, you should be using the spot rate on December 31. And how much is the spot rate on December 31 as given the problem, 0.47. So that means the equivalent value of your 50,000 foreign currency unit obligation in terms of our local currency is how much? How much? 23,500. So what happened? On November 1, your accounts payable was 22,000. On December 31, it should be 23,500. So what happened to your accounts payable? It increased. So logically, class, if your liability increased, is that good or bad for you, class? Bad. So that will be considered as a loss. And the amount of loss here will be the amount of increase in your liability. From 22,000, it will now be 23,500. So you will have a loss of 1,500. How did we get 1,500? By comparing the original amount of accounts payable to the adjusted balance on December 31, which was 22,000 on November 1 and 23,500 on December 31. Alternatively, class, how can we solve for 1,500? It is the 50,000 times the change in the spot rate. How much is the change in the spot rate? 0.03. So 0.03 times 50,000, that will give you 1,500. But I prefer that you solve 22,000, you solve for 23,500 in order for your analysis to be a lot simpler, class, in determining whether it's a gain or loss. It's not enough that you can solve for 1,500. You should correctly label it whether it's a gain or a loss. Okay, let's proceed to number 4. Using the same information, how much will be reported in 2017 as forex gain or loss from the importation? So this is still importation, class. So what rate will be relevant here? Are we going to be looking at the forward rates? No, we will still be focusing on the spot rates. But here we are now in 2017. The balance on December 31, 2016 will be the beginning balance on 2017. So that, please remember the 23,500 plus. Okay. So aside from adjusting it every year end, class, you will also have to adjust the balance of your liability, your accounts payable, on the date of payment or the settlement date. When is the settlement date or payment date in this problem? February 28. So what do I want you to do? On each settlement date, on each payment date, update the amount or the equivalent value of your liability to its current exchange rate. And how do you do that? By using the spot rate on the date of payment. Again, when is the date of payment? February 28. And on February 28, the spot rate is 0.48. So convert or update the balance of your accounts payable using the spot rate on February 28. So multiply 50,000 by 0.48. Okay, and how much is 0.48 times 50,000? That is 24,000. How much was the previous balance of your accounts payable? 23,500. How much should it be now? 24,000. So it increased by 500. And again, if accounts payable increases, it is not good. So it is a loss on our part. So for 2017, we will have a forex gain or loss. Sorry, we will have a forex loss in the amount of 500. That's it. Okay, next, number 5 and 6. Using the same information, how much will be reported in 2016 as forex gain or loss from the forward contract? Okay, so 5 and 6 now asks for your forex gain or loss from the forward contract. Number 5 is for 2016. Number 6 is for 2017. Okay. Class, in forward contracts, class, the arrangement there is an entity agrees to buy foreign currency from a financial institution, normally at a bank, class, at a predetermined rate, which we will refer to as your forward rate, with the foreign currency to be delivered on a future date. So you will enter into a forward contract, class, if you want to have a foreign currency in a future date. Okay. Now, you will ask the question, why will companies do that? So that they will be able to eliminate any loss from fluctuation in the Forex transaction class. Then you would ask the question, sir, if they will enter, let me simplify first. Class on November 1, we purchase something and we will pay it in foreign currencies. Okay? But of course, what we have are local currencies, man. So by the time it will become due on February 28, we will still need foreign currencies to fully settle our obligation. So what will normally be done? We will use our local currency to buy foreign currencies on February 28 so that we can pay our accounts payable. Okay? But what's the scenario? By February 28, it's possible that your local currency will weaken so that it will require you a lot more local currencies for you to buy the same 50,000 foreign currencies. Okay? If the exchange rate goes down, if your currency weakens, you will need more local currency to buy the same amount of foreign currency. So how do we avoid that scenario? As early as November 1, you will enter into a forward contract already in which you will receive the fixed 50,000. So it will not matter anymore whether the local currency will weaken on February 28 because by February 28, you're guaranteed to get 50,000 foreign currency at a fixed price. So whether the local currency weakens or not, you will have the 50,000 at a predetermined fixed price. Okay? So it will now eliminate the problem wherein you will need a lot more local currencies to pay off the same amount of liability. But on the opposite side, class, you would ask the question, by doing that, sir, they're also eliminating the possibility that the local currency will strengthen and they will only be needing fewer local currency to pay off the 50,000 obligation. And that is correct. If you enter into a forward contract class, you eliminate the chance of loss, but at the same time, you eliminate the chance of having a gain. Because that's the goal in a sound financial policy class, is that you will not focus so much on potential gain. You will try to limit the possibility of you incurring losses. In risk management, you try to avoid or lessen or eliminate uncertainty. By entering into a forward contract, you are able to eliminate the uncertainty attached to your foreign currency transaction. So you will eliminate the possibility of loss, but also you will also eliminate the possibility of gain. But that is not a problem because our focus is not on earning gain from foreign transactions. Our focus is on earning profit from the importation and exportation transactions. Okay? So by entering into a forward contract, you are guaranteed to get the needed foreign currencies at a fixed price. So you will not be affected anymore by the fluctuation in the exchange rates. So moving on to accounting class, upon entering into a forward contract, you will record forward contract receivable and forward contract payable class. The forward contract payable is payable in pesos and it is fixed in amount based on the predetermined rate. Okay, it is now based on the forward rate. The forward contract receivable class is to be settled by receiving foreign currencies. Okay, when you record the when you record the forward contract transaction class, you will debit forward contract receivable and credit forward contract payable. In the forward contract receivable, it will be considered realized if you will get the foreign currencies during the maturity date. Your forward contract payable is to be paid in local currencies class. We'll demonstrate this as we answer number 5 and number 6. Okay, but of course, even if the forward contract receivable is to be settled by receiving foreign currencies, it is still to be recorded in terms of local currencies, or in our case, it will still be recorded in pesos. Now, the gain or loss from the forward contract class will come from your forward contract receivable. Okay? No gain or loss will come from the forward contract payable because it is fixed in Philippine peso. The gain or loss from forward contract will come from the fluctuation in the equivalent peso value of your forward contract receivable class. There will be a forex gain or loss in forward contracts because you have to keep on restating the forward contract receivable, just like the accounts receivable and accounts payable in your exportation and importation. Okay, but again, remember class, in importation and exportation, you update the balance of your AR and your AP using the spot rate. It will be different in forward contracts. You will be using the forward rates to update the balance of your forward contract receivable class. Okay, but here it's important for us to establish our understanding of forward rates. Again, forward rates are estimated. I want us to understand forward rates this way, class. Forward rates are the estimated spot rate on the future dates as of a particular date. Okay, for example, let's go back to the table. On November 1 class, the 4-month forward rate is 0. How much is the 4-month forward rate on November 1? 0.46. So how should we understand that? 4 months from November 1 class is February 28. You follow? November, December, January, and February. 4 months from November 1 is February 28. So the 4-month forward rate of 0.46 class means that as of November 1, we are estimating, or we are expecting, that the spot rate 4 months from now, or the spot rate on February 28, will be 0.46. Again, if the 4-month forward rate on November 1 is 0.46, what does that mean? This means that on November 1, we are expecting that the spot rate 4 months from November 1, or the spot rate on February 28, will be 0.46. Again, I want us to understand forward rates as the estimated spot rates on future dates as of a particular date. Okay? So that means as of the particular date, meaning November 1, the estimated spot rate on the future date, which is February 28, is 0.46. Let's check if you understand what I meant. Still on November 1, 3-month forward rate. How much is the 3-month forward rate on November 1 class? 0.47. So what does that mean? That as of November 1, we are estimating or expecting that the spot rate 3 months from November 1, which is when? January 31, will be 0.47. Okay? That's how I want you to understand the forward rates. Now, how about on November 30? On November 30, if you would want to know how much is the estimated spot rate on February 28, again, on November 30, if you want to know how much is the estimated spot rate on February 28, what forward rate are you going to be? No, not November 30. Assuming November 30 lang, which is not on the table class, okay? If you are on November 30 class and you want to know how much is the estimated spot rate is on February 28. What forward rate will you be looking for, class? Will you still be looking for a 4-month forward rate, class? Again, you are on November 30. You want to determine the estimated spot rate on February 28. What forward rate will you be looking at? Will you still be looking at the 4-month forward rates, class? No, because November 30 is not 4 months away from February 28. How many months is February 28 away from November 30, class? 3 months. So if you are on November 30, you should be looking for 3-month forward rates, class. Okay? On November 30, the 3-month forward rate will give you the estimated spot rate on February 28 because November 30 is essentially 3 months away from February 28. Now, why then would we be looking for the estimated spot rates on future dates, class? Why would we be looking for the estimated spot rates on the future dates? Because if your accounts receivable and accounts payable from the importation and exportation transaction is to be measured always at spot rate, class, your forward contract receivable is to be measured at the estimated spot rate at the date of settlement. This is the most important takeaway for tonight, class. What's the rule for importation and exportation, class? Always use the spot rate. For the forward contract receivable, class, again, we said we will always update the balance of your forward contract receivable. What is our rule for the forward contract receivable? Our rule is that the forward contract receivable is to be measured at the estimated spot rate at the date of settlement. That is why it's important for you to regularly refer to the forward rate. Because again, what does your forward rate give you? It gives you the estimated spot rate on a future date. So you will always look for the estimated spot rate on the date of settlement. Okay? Hopefully you understand. Let's apply our understanding, class. First, on the November 1 column. As of November 1, class, the estimated spot rate again on February 28 is 0.46. Why? Because February 28 is 4 months away from November 1. Next, as of November 1, how much is the estimated spot rate on January 31, class? As of November 1, what is our estimated spot rate on January 31? How many months is January 31 away from November 1? November, December, and January. So what rate should we be looking for? The 3-month forward rate. So the estimated spot rate then on January 31 as of November 1 is 0.47. Still on November 1, what is the estimated spot rate on December 31, class? As of November 1, what is the estimated spot rate on December 31? 0.45. What does that amount or rate represent? That is the 2-month forward rate. Why are we using the 2-month forward rate? Because as of November 1, December 31 is 2 months away. Last, as of November 1, what is the estimated spot rate on November 30? What is the estimated spot rate on November 30, class? It will be the 0.48, which is the 1-month forward rate. Why? Because as of November 1, November 30 is 1 month away. Again, why do I want you to keep on practicing determining the estimated spot rate, class, on future dates? Because that is the rule for the carrying amount of your forward contract receivable, class. Again, your forward contract receivable is to be measured at the estimated spot rate at the date of settlement. Okay? This time, November 30 or December 1 columns, class. Because we will use December 1 as our November 30. As of November 30, what is the estimated spot rate on March 31 class? As of November 30, what is the estimated spot rate on March 31? 0.48. And what are you using? Still the 4-month forward rate. Why are we using the 4-month forward rate? Because March 31 is 4 months away from November 30 or December 1. Do you follow, class? Next, as of November 30, what is the estimated spot rate on January 31? January 31. As of November 30, class, this is the time for you to practice, class. As of November 30, what is the estimated spot rate on January 31? 0.45, which is the 2-month forward rate, because January 31 is 2 months away from November 30 or December 1. Next, as of November 30, what is the estimated spot rate on December 31? It is 0.44. Which forward rate are we using? The 1-month forward rate, because December 31 is 1 month away from November 30 or December 1. Last, as of November 30, what is the estimated spot rate on February 28? As of November 30, what is the estimated spot rate on February 28? 0.47, which is the 3-month forward rate on December 1, because January 31 is basically 2 months away. 2 months away from. February 28 is 3 months away from November 30. Again, it's important for me that you know how to do this, class. Okay, you will always be using the estimated spot rate on the date of settlement. Let's move on to number 5. Let's answer number 5 now. Using the same information, how much will be reported in 2016 as forex gain or loss from the forward contract? Okay. So the forward contract, class, was entered into on, when was the forward contract entered into? November 1. And it is to be settled when? February 28. This is the time that we will pay the forward contract, and this is the time that we will receive the foreign currencies. Okay, so on November 1, what will we do? Measure the forward contract receivable based on the estimated spot rate on the date of settlement. When again is the date of settlement, class? February 28. Again, the forward contract receivable should be measured using the estimated spot rate on the date of settlement. And what will give you the estimated spot rate on February 28? What will give you the estimated spot rate on February 28? It will be the forward rate. But what forward rate will you be using? How many months away is February 28 from November 1? 4 months. So you should be using the 4 months forward rate as of November 1. Please do not use the spot rate on November 1. Because what does the spot rate on November 1 represent? It represents the current exchange rate. It does not represent the estimated spot rate on February 28. Okay, now, because the problem gives you, the table gives you the February 28 spot rate, class. How much is the February 28 spot rate? 0.48. Shouldn't we just use this number na lang, class? After all, our goal is to use the estimated spot rate on February 28. The problem already gives you the spot rate on February 28. Why are you still using the 0.46? Because as of November 1, the 0.48 is not yet known. When do you know the 0.48? You only know that on February 28. So you cannot use the 0.48 because that is only known on February 28. That is why we will be using the estimated lang. Because as of November 1, we can only estimate the spot rate on February 28. Okay? So here the forward contract receivable November 1 will be recognized at how much class? How much will be debited to forward contract receivable? Again, what rate are we going to be using? The 4-month forward rate, which is 0.46. So at what amount will the forward contract receivable be debited? It will be debited at 23,000. Does everyone get the 23,000? Okay, based on the 4-month forward rate, which represents again the estimated spot rate on February 28, which is our settlement date. On December 31, now we already have the initial balance of your forward contract receivable. How much is the initial balance of the forward contract receivable? 23,000. What else do we need to answer number 5? We need the updated or adjusted balance of the forward contract receivable on December 31, the reporting date, our adjustment date. So on December 31, the forward contract receivable class should be restated to reflect the current estimated spot rate on February 28. So what is our goal? Our goal is to determine the estimated spot rate on February 28, which is the settlement date, as of December 31. Again, we want to know, as of December 31, how much is the estimated spot rate on the settlement date? Again, when is the settlement date? February 28. Again, we want to know how much is the estimated spot rate on February 28 as of December 31. And what rate are we going to be using if we're trying to determine the estimated spot rate? Use forward rates. But which forward rates are we going to be using? First, in which column should we be looking at, class? Should we be looking at the December 31 column or the February 28 column, class? December 31. Now, which of the December 31 forward rates are we going to be looking at, class? The 2-month forward rate, which is your 0 point. Why are we using the 2-month forward rate? Because this is the estimated spot rate 2 months from December 31, which is February 28, which is our settlement date. Okay, again, on December 31, the forward contract receivable should be restated to reflect the current estimated spot rate on February 28. So I hope you're getting this, class. Okay, if you simply understand this, regardless of the scenario, class, you should be able to answer it. So on this date, you'd be using the 2-month forward rate because, again, the February 28, the date of settlement is now only 2 months. What's the common error on the part of the students, class? They will stick to 4-month forward rates. Do you follow? When was the original transaction? November 1, which was 4-month forward rate, which was 4 months away. By December 31, do not use the 4-month forward rates anymore. Because by December 31, the settlement date is no longer 4 months away. It is now just 2 months away. Our reckoning, our target will always be the settlement date. Check how far away you are from the settlement date. Okay? So on December 31, the forward contract receivable should be reported at how much, class? On December 31, the forward contract receivable should be reported at how much? 24,000. And since it was 23,000 on November 1, and now it should be reported at 24,000. So that means the forward contract receivable will increase from 23 to 24. So the receivable increased by how much? 1,000. And since it's a receivable that increased, is this a gain or a loss, class? Receivable increase. Is it good for you or not? Because will you be happy if your receivable will increase? Yes. So the increase in the forward contract receivable will be reported as a gain. So what is the answer in number 5? What is the answer in number 5? You will have a gain of 1,000. Okay, and how did you get 1,000? 23 and the difference between 23 and 24. Let's have number 6. What's the question in number 6? using the same information, how much will be reported in 2017 as forex gain or loss from the forward contract. So for 2017, there may still be a gain or loss class because we will still be updating or restating the forward contract receivable. When do we need to restate the balance of the receivable class? On every adjustment date. When is our adjustment date? On the reporting date or the end of the year and the settlement date. Okay? But this time, class, no need to use forward rates. Very important. If the settlement date has arrived, class, we will no longer be using the forward rates. No need to use estimated spot rate on the date of settlement, class. Again, what's our goal in 2017? To restate the balance of the forward contract receivable on the date of settlement. And normally, what will we use? We will be using the estimated spot rate on the date of settlement. But what's the scenario here? You are already on the settlement date. So if you are already on the settlement date, will you still be using estimated spot rates, class? No, use already the actual spot rate, class. Okay? So again, before the settlement date, we do not actually know how much the spot rate would be during the settlement date. That is why we are forced to use the estimated spot rates, which is presented as your forward rates. Again, your forward rates is simply your estimated spot rates. But on the settlement date, class, no need to use estimated spot rates because the actual spot rate is already available, class. And this is what confuses students, class. For importation and exportation, always use what rate for importation and exportation, class? Always use spot rates. For forward contracts, class, some students would think that they will always be using forward rates. So what am I telling you now? Do we use forward rates for forward contract transaction, class? Yes. But for forward contracts, there is a scenario wherein you will be using the spot rate. And when will you use the spot rate for forward contracts, class? If you are now on the date of settlement, class. The date of the delivery of the foreign currencies, class. Okay? So going back, the balance of the forward contract receivable was how much, class? At the start of the year in 2017. How much is the balance of the forward contract receivable? How much? How much was it? How did you solve for the 1,000 gain in number 5? You compared 23 and 24. So the balance on December 31 was how much? 24. So the balance at the start of 2017 is 24, which will be our previous balance. Okay? Now on February 28, the date of settlement, how much would be the adjusted or restated balance of your forward contract receivable? What rate again will we be using on February 28? It will now be the spot rate. How much is the spot rate on February 28? 0.48. So 0.48 times 50,000 will give you how much? 24,000. How much was it on December 31 last year? 24. How much will it be at the date of settlement? Also 24,000. Is there a fluctuation, class? No. So that means the answer in number 6 would be 0. No gain or loss because the previous balance was 24. The balance of the settlement date is also 24,000. Okay? Now, there are problems, class, that would ask you for the net forex gain or loss. So in that case, you'll just combine the gain or loss from the importation and the gain or loss from the forward contract. What do I mean? What was the answer in number 4, class? What was the answer in number 4? 500. And this was from the importation. Do you follow, class? That's also in 2017. But aside from that, what else happened in 2017? Which is our answer in number 6. There was no gain or loss. So if you're asked how much is the net forex gain or loss in 2017, our answer would be 500 loss. Okay? It's not a good example to get the net gain or loss, class, because we have 0 from the forward contract. Okay? Again, class, what do I want you to understand of the forward rates, class? The forward rates are the estimated spot rates on future dates. Okay, but even though that is our understanding, class, that will not be technically true because the forward rates that will be imposed by banks or other financial institutions, class, will include a premium so that they will have profit also, class. They will have compensation for the assumption of risk. Okay? Let's end here. Again, very important ang inyong understanding sa forward rates, class. Another takeaway, class, another takeaway. Spot rates will be used in forward contracts, but only when? When will you use the actual spot rates in forward contracts? Only the date of settlement. Before the date of settlement, what will you be using for forward contracts? Always the forward rates. But again, the forward rate that you will be using will change, class, depending on how far you are from the settlement date. Kana lang, class. Those are the things that you need to understand.